Hi, good morning. Welcome back to ITOM Batch 2, Day 28. I hope you are doing well.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Before sharing my screen, Arati, do you have any questions related to the topics which we have covered till now?
No, not really. I
Sorry?
haven't. Yeah. This is day 29, right? Ajay?
Yeah, day 29, my bad. Yeah. So do you have any topic, anything
No,
which you
no,
want to be? Okay.
no.
So let's get started with that CSDM one only. So, we are covering the CSDM. So I just skip couple of things related to the life cycle and all others because that are the basic things which I can feel, right? But here I will start with the common data. But are you still able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So
And Ajay,
common.
last time we had decided that you were going to have like uh, some kind of a PowerPoint or something that you were going to prepare rather than going through all of the theory.
Right. So I'm not going with all of the theories now. I'm just going with the common, modules of it. So I did not prepare the PowerPoint, but just I prepared the questions and which I already pasted on the group, right? So I think that will cover the all complete CSDM. If you go through it, if you are
Okay.
able to find out the solutions, that will be good. If you're not able to, I have the solutions as well at my side. So
Okay.
you can also see or you can also
On
check those
the
particular
on
things.
the group to on the batch two group, is that where you posted the
Yes,
questions?
of course, that is already there. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Yeah, so you just go through it. All questions, I think 50 questions are there related to CSDM. And when you're going through it, that's are the basics questions for complete CSDM. You just try to find out the solutions. I think if you're able to find out the solutions, the complete CSDM will cover automatically. If not, then definitely I have the solutions as well. So we'll provide on those things as well.
Okay.
Right. So common data, basically in CSDM, CSDM is common data service model. Right. So first thing is common data. As already we discussed, the data is most important to manage the ServiceNow platform. Right. So common data are shared data that is present throughout the Now platform. Examples of the common data already like company, business units, department, location, groups, and users. And that multiple ServiceNow product depend on the common data provide to business value. If you try to understand in that way, if we don't have locations, if we don't have users, if we don't have group in the correct manner, or if they are not duplicate, definitely that is going to be provide the business value of us, right? And that's why when we are going to be implement any ServiceNow implementation first, or going to be start with the ITSM implementation. We are asking customer how you are going to be populate your users, how you are going to be populate your groups, what will be your locations, what will be how many companies you have it, if you have company subsidiaries, right? How many business units you have it, how many department, and what is the way to populate that particular data in ServiceNow, and what is required to populate that one thing, and second thing, how you are going to be utilize those particular data on your and on your process side, so on your incidents form, or on your incidents form related to locations, groups, and on your problem on your catalog form, how you are going to be utilized, right? So we are going to be discussed. So that one thing which is most important, the data. Now, when we are planning for common data, there are a couple of things which we have to be asked, or a couple of questions which we have to be asked or discussed with the customer, right? The first is, do I have trusted source of this data, right? So how we can identify which is the trusted source for the data, right? So we need to be understand how many sources they have it. Like for users, they are populating through AD or Azure, right? Or groups, they are populating through AD or Azure, right? And if I'm talking about company, business units, and departments, how we are going to be populate that one? What is the trusted source for data? Because we cannot rely on the Excel files to do that, right? So that first thing we need to be asked. Are there multiple sources? If yeah, if they have multiple sources, we need to be understand what source data, what source is populating which attribute. And then again comes in the IRE rules comes in the picture. Now IRE rules you can apply on that non-CMDB classes as well, right? How often does this data change? Like, how often you are updating the company records or a department or business units or locations from where we are fetching the data, how you are going to be modify.
Actually, how do we apply IRE rules on
The
non-CM?
same way. There is nothing difference between them. Only earlier that when we are applying IRE rules for CMDB, the non-CMDB classes are not there, right? Now the non-CMDB class is also available there. So you can apply it simple. I will showcase you,
Okay.
right? Then fourth thing is, do I have depth of the data that my CIs will require? And who will maintain the data, right? So depth of the data basically like, what attribute specific, which is required. We have that complete informations to run our business or to get the business value from that implementation, and how and who will going to be maintain the data basically, right? So uh, the first thing, as I mentioned already, the CSDM, common service data model, the two words first, common data, that is most important. And the next is service model. It's depend on the completely on the service side, where we are going to be discussed. Already we discussed, but we all also going to be discuss about the business service, application service, technical service, offerings, capabilities, and all, right? So first, data. Now, as I mentioned, the data, we have core tables like company, business unit, and departments. So if you see, we have all tables here. Company, we have core underscore company, business unit, business underscore unit, department, CM underscore department, location, CM underscore location, groups, sys underscore user group, and users is sys underscore user. Right. So that we have core tables for foundation data, and we can also say that is my foundation of the CSDM. If that is correct, because that is everywhere we are going to be use it as a reference. Like if we are creating a business service, definitely we are going to be use a location. We are going to use a users groups, like who are that managed group of it owned by that particular business service, right? So if that is not correct, that my data or my services will not be reflect correctly, right? The next is location management. So location management, we have couple of fields, and there are a couple of other new fields will be added recently. That one is source ID, where this location record originate from. Include, it's a choice for manual entered data, right? So if we have source and we have couple of different sources to populate the data, so we can easily identify from where the data is coming, right? If it is manual, if it is different sources, if we are doing integration with LeanIX, if they are storing some third party tool, so that we can easily identify where that source or where that particular data or location is record originated. Then we have location type. So location type is where does this location record fit into hierarchy of the locations. So location type, some couple of times we have like it's a warehouse, it's a data center, it's a normal location of the offices, right? So we can also put that particular things, right? Apart from that, in location types, we have a region, country, state, city, site, building structures, floor, and room, right? So that particular informations we also going to be captured in the location type. Then managed by a group, as I mentioned, if we have couple of groups available and source of truth is group is correct, then we can understand who governs this location record. That attribute align the same management schema utilized by product, asset, and CMDB, right? Because location is part of couple of things, like that can be location, can be user location as well. location can be the CI location as well. Location can be asset warehouse as well, right? So that who governs this particular location, that is we need to be understand, right? Then validation, duplicate versus primary, flag duplicate locations. So these particular things which is I'm mentioning here, that is also available on the ServiceNow instance. If I go here and let me showcase you quickly. So if I click on this one, source ID. Hmm, strange. And what we have managed by validation, managed by group is there. Validation duplicate of, yeah, this is there. What we have region, country, state, province. Country. See, so we have these particular fields available here. Just add it. If it's not added, shit. Duplicate, managed by group, country,
There is that field location source,
source ID. Like I'm looking, I'm just checking for that as well, right? So
not the location source.
not the location source. That is source ID.
Oh,
Source ID. It's not the location source. It's a source ID. So let me okay this one and let me see. Couple of times that it's not directly visible here, but should be there. Source. No. Okay, the default view is in global and I'm in different view. Why this is not working? Mhm. Source. Something is missing. Might be because I just, today morning I just enabled that my this PDI. This has been terminated again. But I already checked it that the primary might be it is in parent or somewhere that source ID is there. Location is not there. Primary parent managed by group. No, I will check and find and let you know, like, how that will be. But that should be there because that is the new field which is introduced by the service now for the location management, where we can easily identify that, from where the record is originated. I will
Okay.
find and let you know.
Okay, is that
And
what release did they introduce that from
that
onwards?
is released in Rome, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Rome. Right, so that should be there. Might be something not changed in Xanadu because my PDI is in Xanadu. So I have not gone through that, Xanadu notes. Yeah, I've not gone through the Xanadu note, but if not changed in the Xanadu, definitely that will be there, right? But other fields is there like the validation duplicates versus primary life cycle stage and life cycle status is there, right? So we can easily identify those particular things. So, in the first and common or foundation data module of CSDM, these are the things which we have to be take care from where the data is coming, how the data is populating, how we are going to be maintain that one, how many multiple sources are there, how the data or how often the data will be changing, right? And those particular core tables of or the foundation core tables of that common data basically. Right. Then we will come to directly on the design domain basically. What we are designing and how we are designing that particular domain, right? So as you able to see, there are three things: business capabilities, business application, and information object. There are two personas will comes in the picture who are working on that particular one: the enterprise architect and the application owners. Application owners who own the business applications. Architecture enterprise architect will help you out to discuss about how you can map and what business capability you can map with the which business application, and how that can be business application map with the information object, right? So in simple words, if I say that is complete manual and logical component, right? So if you are putting business application ABC on business application ABC, there are a couple of business capabilities will be there, right? That can be XYZ, that can be, uh, TWR, anything, right? And then we have business application relationship with the information objects also. So, and the end, like, pupils are not here, but and the end by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll go with one by one business application, will create business application, will create business capabilities, will create the complete those particular things basically, right? So in design document, what happens, design document referring the application portfolio management, it's utilized application portfolio management module, which is provided by the service now. Right. So these tables are not used for design and planning. This record in them are not to direct target of ITSM processes. Like these tables not going to be used in incidents, problem, change management, but these tables represent the logical design of the enterprise applications to be deployed and utilized by the business basically. So when we are using in the incidents problem change, we are going to use the services, right? So which service is going to be impact, but end of the day, these particular applications or that particular stack of the design is going to be utilized by the business to understand all other things, right? Here, APM provides enhanced capability to rationalize and manage your business applications, technologies, informations, and business object portfolios. Right now, if I go to small down business capabilities, right? So it's a name also describing that definition of it. Like business capability can be described as a high level capability that an organization required to execute its business model or fulfill its mission. A business capability describes what organization does, not how work is performed. It is typically described in the context of performing specific tasks to achieve one or more business outcomes. So if I give you an example, let me open example. I have something. This one we have business application, business capabilities is not there. Let me open the different one. See, So let's take an example in that way. We have in broader level, we can think about it. We have sales or we have HR. So my top business capability for that is HR, right? Under that, what business application we are using? Might be we are using resource management, might be we are using timesheet management, we are using attendance, we are using payroll and all other things, right? Which is supporting that particular business capability, that particular applications. So that is the relationships we are going to be built in the design phase, basically. Right. So here we are just like, we are using business capability as a sales, but under the business capability sales, we have online sales management. And under that, we have so SDLC component like customer manager, currency flow, tax calculation, and online order management, right? So SDLC is nothing. SDLC is something like, where we are designing the software data lifecycle, right? So that is which is going to be particular, which is going to be follow the life cycle management of the softwares as well as the DevOps, right? So that SDLC comes, right? So these particular applications support to that particular business application, which is online sales management, and this is part of this particular business capability, right? So if I go back.
So those are components of that business application, right? The
Right. No,
the core.
exactly. So, that in simple words, if I say this is completely logical, there is nothing. Let me do in a simple way, in a different way example, right? So I'm running a organization, and in my organizations, what is my business capabilities? How I will decide? So basically, I will decide based on my, in simple words, if I talk about the broader level, I will decide based on my the business values or business outcomes, right? So one business capability can be IT. Let me put IT help desk example. One business capability will be HR. One business capability will be finance, right? Finance. These are the three important in any organization, right? IT they required HR, they required finance to run smooth organization. If I talk about small organization, right? And if I go to the broader level or the MNCs, they have lots of, right? They have different LOBs like to related to their business or their business units basically, and they have lots of things related to like if in simple words, if I say each LOB or each business unit have different HRs, different ITs, different finance team, and they have again learning team, code and ethics teams, right? Vendors, different vendors, right? So if I talk about these, let's take an example. These are my business capabilities. Now, how these business capabilities are supported, right? So might be IT help desk, we have a JMF business application, right? Might be we have Intune, right? In HR, we have payroll or example, enterprise solution manager. We have a onboarding tool, right? So that business capability have a relationships with these. End of the day, how my business is going to be realize the value. If my these application impacting, right? If my these application is impacting, definitely my business capability is impacted, and the business have the impact here directly. Getting my point, right? The same way we have finance. So finance, let's take an example. We are using SAP, Ariba, or SAP Concur. These are the tools which is available in the market, right? So if any impact on these particular tools, these that is my business LOBs or business capabilities is directly impacting, right? So we are creating a relationship between them to provide. Like if anything impact here, that will be showcased also here. Now, how we will identify the JMF is impacting? End of the day, these business application also using the infra, right? So infra can be anything which is infra can be like, Windows Server, Linux, database, load balancer. This is the complete life cycle, right? So that is there. If that is if how now now you can ask me how we can identify that infra is impacted. Then application services comes in the picture, right? Where we are creating service maps, right? Technical service comes in the picture. We are grouping the CIs based on filter condition. Now everything have a proper relationship with that particular things, like application service is connecting that infra is going to be connecting with the JMF through the application services, technical services. So business application is connecting, right? Under that, we can also, application service offerings or technical service offerings are there. So every, single hierarchy is there. Now, if we created the service maps, now if I example, let me showcase you one more thing. Yeah, application service. Let me open in the different way as well. See, this is my CSDM view for an application service, right? They have not tagged any business application here. We have just one application service, ServiceNow event management, but we can create relationship with business application. We can create relationship with technical service offering. We can create business service offerings. What is a parent application service if we want to add it, right? So we can do that here in while we are going to be create anything, and that relationship's automatically going to be created out of the box, right? Second thing which I'm trying to mention here, let's see, this is my example of service map. Now, if that particular service map, APAC Loyalty Club, let me go to my Excel again. Now let's put, this is my application service is APAC Loyalty Club. Is that particular service map is supporting my JMF application, business application. Again, I'm saying business application is a logical component, but somehow that logical component and the name is running on this particular application service, and that particular application service, lots of infra under that, right? If that infra has an impact, that will showcase on this particular service map, APAC Loyalty Club. But if that APAC Loyalty Club have an impact, that will showcase on where? That will showcase on my business application directly, and that business application impacted, that will showcase on this one. So that's why we are creating a relationship, so we can easily identify, okay, which part is going to be impacted. It doesn't mean if my JMF is impacted, my complete IT help desk is impacting, because There are a couple of other tools which they are also supporting IT help desk business capability. I hope you're getting it. You're following me, right? Now the question comes, how we can identify that is impacted. Again, then event management comes in the picture. So we are integrating with monitoring tools, and monitoring tools will provide the alerts information, right? So when any alert or any incidents is there, that will showcase on this particular infra, that will highlight on the APAC loyalty club, and that will, showcase on the JMF. That is a complete cycle. That's why if that complete relationships or that complete hierarchy is not there, we are not able to find out. And that's why if we just need to be find out a couple, good reporting, we need to create a relationships in the between that, two systems. If it is not there, then we cannot achieve that one. I hope you're getting it right.
Yes.
Still confusing.
No, I'm getting it.
Okay, so let's take an example. I just want to showcase you one thing. Mhm. Let me refresh one moment. Hmm. Let me enable something and showcase you. Okay, it's not operational. Might be. Oh, it's operational. There is one thing, if I read an incident on this particular CI, any CI, that will also showcase here that this particular CI is impacted. That's why service maps comes in the picture, and we can understand if this is only a single CI, which is LDAP something, right? If impact on this one, definitely this particular hierarchy, which is coming from this to this to this, is completely impacted, because that CI is impacted if any incident or any alert running on it, right? But in the same way, here it's not a cluster. I just want to showcase you one example of the cluster. Yeah, I think this one example. So here we have two CIs, which is in the cluster, right? For that particular APAC loyalty club application service. Let's take an example. If this is impacting, this particular CI is impacting, does that mean my complete service is impacting? No, right? Because this is the single CI is impacting. As of now, we have another server in the same cluster, which is supporting the all informations or all, transactions, which is happening from that source. So it means that is my 50% is impacting. That also we can configure that particular things in the service maps as well to showcase like what is the impact, how is the impact, right? And if that is impacting, definitely it's showcasing the color coding. It's red. Red means critical alerts is there. Orange means it's not critical alerts. It's just simple impacting as of now. So based on that, that is that particular visualization happening on my business capabilities label basically, right? So if I go back to that one, no, 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 here. Right. So basically, business capabilities are recorded in this table. Business capabilities are represented in a hierarchical model that includes a parent business capability that may be underpinned by one or more lower business capabilities. Now, that can also be also a possibility. Like I just put it a IT help desk. Top of it, there is one business capability which is IT. On top of it, that can be a one more business capability is end user computing. Or let's take an example, IT is there, but end user computing IT LDS is there. One more business capability might be possibility database. So we can dig down, and based on that, if and I will tell you in the simple words example again. Let me see. We have one business capability IT, and IT we have application team example. Okay, database. We have end user computing, network. Okay, and yeah, these are the four teams. So that is one business capability. Under that, we have these four business capabilities. Under that, we can have, business applications, like application related business applications can be, which is supporting to my applications, right? So that can be Jenkins, Tomcat, right? Database, we have Oracle, SQL, end user computing like JMF, SCCM, network, we have SolarWinds. So this is up to us when we are discussing with customer how we, that's why we are going to be involved the architecture expert architecture and the application owners to understand how their landscape looks like, how their, in complete infrastructure or the complete application scopes looks like. And based on that, we are designing or discussing about the business capabilities. Then we are discussing about sub business capabilities as well if required. That is not mandatory again, it's required if we want to be sub segregate between that. And then we are going to be discuss about the business applications and so on, right? That is that they are going to be mentioned here. So business capabilities are represented in hierarchical model that includes a parent business capability that may be underpinned one or more. Like if I open this particular business capability table, where shit, not there, here. See, this is my business capability table. Now I just put name IT, order, I'm just putting one. What will be the parent business capability of it? I just want to create, if I just want to put it like, this will be child, ITEUC. I'm just configuring and submitting this. Right. What is the business unit for that? If that's why now you can see that this is my foundation data. If my business units are not correct, if not populated, I will not populate that one. This is again department. What is the department of it? If that is not there, that's why we are going to be manage that one. Let me put department is information. Right. Who is the department head? Who is the primary contact? ID that should be managed. Right. Now this is my business capabilities, right? So there are two. Now one, this is my top, which is complete parent, and this is my child, which is IT parent of ITUC. Right. So let me go back there. And again, if business capability hierarchy appears to require more than 6 levels, it likely a candidate to be decoupled into multiple business capabilities within the lower presenting process and the task, not capabilities. So, it in different way, if I tell you again, when you're working on any project implementation, give me one moment. When you're working on project implementation, how you are segregating, you are receiving a demand from the customer, right? And on the demand, you are going to be discuss, you are going to be understand about that, what customer wants actually, and you are starting the requirement gathering. Then on the requirement gathering, you are going to be understand what is the actual customer requirement, right? And then you are going to be design the architecture, right? So how the architecture flow looks like, how the data will be moving out from one source to second source and all, right? And then the final thing, you are breaking that particular requirement which you received from the customer in the small stories, right? That is same thing which we are doing here. Like if we understand the complete requirement from the customer as a CSDM data model, we are understanding that one, we are noting down that one, then we are designing a solution for that to be like what business capability will be there, what business application will be there. And then we are going to be, when we split in small chunks, then we are going to be plan to upload in service now. And what I feel, as I already mentioned, this is almost most of the time manual. You cannot automate. If you can only automate when you have couple of sources to populate the data, then you have to design it way in that way. Automatically, once record is created, a business rule will trigger and create a relationship with this particular one, right? So that is there. Business capability update guide. Any questions, Rati, till now?
No,
Right.
I'm good.
You're getting it, right?
Yes,
You're
yes.
not confused this time.
No.
Okay. So when business capability update guidance is when adding a capability, the hierarchy level is automatically assigned based on the parent capability level. First thing, if a parent capability is updated in the hierarchy, the all levels of its child capability are recalculated. The total number of levels cannot exceed more than six hierarchy. So you cannot create more than six child, or you know six hierarchy for that particular one, right? As I mentioned here, if IT this IT is EUC, if I put IT EUC is parent of the IT EUC parent is something different, right? If I put information, so that level cannot be go to move beyond six, more than six. Right. And again, one moment, stay on page. And this, let me showcase you this way as well. So this is my dependency view also will be visible. I think there is nothing, right? Let me open this one. Oops, I don't save it. One moment. Save this. There is no filter applied, I hope. Because we have not added any business application and other things here. It is just showcasing one. But when we added complete one, so the dependency map will showcase in the same way which we are able to see on CI's level, right? Now what is my CI, how the component is connected to that, right? So all will be application, all things will be visible. And that's why we are building, or we are going to be follow the CSDM model only, right? And then business applications, which I already discussed. A business application represents all softwares and infrastructures. Business application are logical representation of all instances used to increase productivity and provide functionality to perform business functions accurately. For example, pay labels, receivables, general ledgers, right? So logical, in simple words, what I mean, which things you cannot touch, you cannot feel, like application servers or database or other things, you can touch it, right? But that, and they have specific naming convention already. Linux servers is Linux server already, Windows servers is Windows server. Here logical means you can put any name based on your interest, right? You cannot touch it. It just it will not be visible, basically, simple words, right? But you can understand this is something in my organization happening, right? Business application typically software used by the business users. As I mentioned, I just give an example as well. Business application are typically software used by the business users. Also product, also may represent the product that business uses for generating revenue, for performing missions. That can be that can span multiple environment and deployed per geography. Example that can be for dev, test, prod, Americas, APJ, EMI. Right. In simple, if I ask you, you're working on ServiceNow implementation. Have you seen any business application which you are using at your customer environment, which help you to working on those particular things?
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure I got your question.
Right. So you are working on ServiceNow implementation. And do you remember any business application which is helping you to run smoothly your implementation?
No.
Okay, let me tell you an example. Right, when we there are a couple of business applications. Example, you are working on ServiceNow implementation. You want to access your mid server.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how you are going to be? You can access your mid server directly from remote desktop. Something is there, but
Yes.
if it is not there, customer is using third party application.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a couple of third party applications, right? Like if I say POS Vault is there, there are a couple of others, right? Which where you have to log in first, and then you can access only mid servers from there, right? So that is a business application which is supporting to run your business smoothly. If it is impacting, example, if you're not able to do that, you are not able to access mid servers, you are not able to complete the implementation, or end of the day that is going to impact the complete LOB. Getting my point,
Yes, correct.
right? So that then, and as I already definition is there, which is helping to increase the productivity and to provide functionality to business functions. In simple words, that is business application. That's why that documentation, I love it, but I also not too much fan of the theory things. But why I love it, because the things is clearly mentioned here to understand what is business application, what is business capability, what is other things, right? And that's why I'm just trying to cover the things so you can also feel that one, right? Now, which I already mentioned, since business applications are manually managed, CMDB CI classes, you will need to manually create relationship between the business application and the other CI, such as deployed instance of the business application. Getting this one? Basically, like CMDB, when you are going to be in CMDB, let me open this one. I will open any record. Mhm. Yeah, let me, it's all computer, it's all software. Let me group by class. Let me take this. So this is my one of Linux server. I'm just opening this one. See, you are able to see the all relationships, which is it's connecting these all relationships coming out of the box. But services, which service using that particular Linux server? The service which is using this particular server is pupil life cycle soft management. Now just open this one. Under this we have, now let me open this example to showcase you. See, so this is my service pupil soft asset lifecycle management, which is using these particular web servers, network gears, and this one, right? And top of it, there is one more service, PupilSoft Enterprise. You can see PupilSoft Asset Lifecycle, and this is my parent service, which is PupilSoft Enterprise, and its relationships uh, contains by, and these are relationships with depend on used by. If I put that particular service is using my business application PupilSoft Enterprise example, we can do that, right? And it also showcasing here. And top of it, if I put the business capabilities XYZ is using that particular business application and that particular using the particular service, we can also see that, right? So it will create a complete hierarchy for me. Now, if there is one incident trace, see, let me showcase you this one. See, there is some change is running, and this is the incident basically. If impact is here on this particular server, I can understand and I can feel that that impact is also impacting my this service, which is connecting to that particular parent service, and that connected to particular business application and so on, right? So that's why CSDM comes in the picture, where we have complete visibility around it. Earlier that is not there. That is just, this level only, service to this level. We are not going to be create the parent services, and we are not going to be map with the application and all, right? And also we can we can also create relationship between service to business application, but also if we just want to showcase directly business application infra component, we can also create relationship with the infra component directly as well, and that is mentioning here. So since business application are manually managed CMDB CI classes, you will need to manually create relationship between the business application and the other CI, such as deployed instance of the business application. If needed, two or more applications can be integrated or connected to each other to establish a relationship between them and representing a design level. Okay, so we can also do that. The next is information object. And information object is nothing basically, right? Information object is a new information portfolio and referenced by the business application. The information object is configuration item that displays information in organized manner. That purpose of the information object is logically describe type of data or the information that is interchange between application and database. That is only, that's it. And the table of that information object is CMDB information object, where that data is going to be stored. And that is basically used, information object table may be used to identify the types of a business application may use, such as PII, PCI. Do you know PII, PCI?
PII is the identifier, right? The
Right, personal information identifier. Right, so that is something where we are storing, some secured data or secured things, right? That's PII comes in the picture, right? So that is used for that particular information object just to use to identify those particular things between the business applications which using those particular things. Right, so that domain is which we have covered. This is design. Then we have one more domain, build. Again, build domain is nothing where we are just planning to follow the SDLC, software development lifecycle component that comes in the picture, right? So build is CSDM domain that represent those table utilized to give visibility in the build effort of digital product, including but not limited to DevOps process, right? At this time, there is one table used to represent software development lifecycle. So it just, the build domain is just for manage the software lifecycle product, software lifecycle, development lifecycle, basically, right? It again, the table represents logical development, details of the enterprise applications to be deployed and utilized by the business. Right. So if something we are these two things, right? If we already deployed something, that is nice. If we are already doing some development which is going to be used by the business, then build domain comes in the picture, right? SLDC component is part of new build domain and will be referenced by DevOps, right? And it's for basically larger business application, digital product broken down into individually developed components, where we are going to use that one. There are two types of SLDC components. One is application, example included microservices and API. Infrastructure includes database configuration, security configurations, right? So that two components which we can use. Again, as I mentioned, a deployed instance of SLDC component of type application would be an application service. A deployed instance for SLDC component type infrastructure would be any infrastructure CI for which the SLDC component represents the snapshot of its configuration detail. Now, now I think you are able to relate it. If we are using this one and we are creating an application in SLDC component just to manage that can be a application service. And if we are going to be infrastructure, that can be a CI, which is within the SLDC component represents a snapshot of the configuration details. Right? So that is nothing but that just to manage the software lifecycle development, right? Which the next one is managed technical service, and this is something big one which we need to understand a little deeper. I think time is not allowing us. So we'll discuss tomorrow managed technical service. And there is one more domain as of now pending, which is sale and consume domain. So we'll discuss about these two domain, and then we'll discuss about how that particular things works. Managed portfolio is there. We'll discuss in a couple of minutes for that, and how the CSDM conceptual models will work. We'll discuss about that one. See, the business capability, this business application, this these are the tables basically, right? And how the CSDM standards follow, how that is starting to be implemented. So there are 5 phases: foundation, crawl, walk, run, and fly. And as I already mentioned, CSDM is not a one-day job. It will take at least 1 year to be complete, the complete implementation, right? And thinking, working, or discussing, doing something good. Consulting is good, but implementation of the CSDM is something difficult, very difficult, if I say in simple words, right? So I think after that we have nothing, and then we'll go for a demo as well. So this is something which we already discussed before. Teaching you guys on that particular side, I'm also doing to be learn, like this is something new for me as well. I already did couple of implementation, but not this level. Basically, if we are going to be follow the complete documentation of that, anything, that I feel it's something very not good to have, or not a good implementation, right? Sometimes we have to work out of the box, or sometimes we have to work without or in the customized way, in that way, the where the customer is more interested to look and feel,
Right.
right? So I think that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll start managed technical service domain, and another one will complete that one. Any
And
questions on it? Yeah.
that you'll show us that IRE for locations, right? I just want to.
Allah, right away. Like I can show you right away. CI class manager, CI identifier. See, this is location table. I just need to be apply whatever I just want to be applied.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay, if I showcase you from the CI hierarchy manager location. Oh, not here. Okay, this is for CI class manager, basically specifically for
This
CI,
is for
but here
tables, right?
identifiers you can do that, right?
So you went through the CI identifier to come here.
CI identifiers basically.
Okay.
So that is there. If I put on company history is there, right? If I just want to put on users is also there. Users is there. Groups, group is there.
Yeah. Okay.
Things are there. Means now earlier that is not, because what is the use of IRE? IRE is just to be identification and reconcile the data. If the data is coming from different sources, right? So we can do that. If we are populating groups from different 2 sources or 3 sources, we can also do that. If
Right.
users are coming from that, so it's there. If we are putting department is also there. Earlier that is not there for non-CMDB classes.
Got it.
Right. So identify from identifiers, you can do that. C identifiers basically.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, that's it.
I think, yeah, then we are good for today. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow at the same time and we'll start this managed technical services.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Good day. Bye bye.